tell us about Graywater.
So Graywater is water from showers, sinks, and washing machines.
Yep.
It's a little dirty, but it's a great source of irrigation water. So you get a huge savings on the amount of water you would otherwise need to irrigate.
Yeah.
And you also get these savings because that water is not going down the drain, so you don't need to treat it at the sewer treatment plant. It doesn't need to go into your septic system. Just an overall great way to save water.
All right, you're going to help us today with some of the outside digging work. I'm going to work inside with Julianne and get started. What we want to do is to install this. This is a three-way diverting valve. We're going to put it right about here. Now the hose from the washing machine is going to come right to this point. And during times when you're using bleach or it's the winter, we're going to let that water go the same way it always has, from right here this way. But if we want to use the irrigation system, we're going to turn the handle this way. Now the water goes to the right and goes out through this pipe. It's going to go out through the building, down to the irrigation system. And your application is perfect here because the washing machine is high enough that it can all work by gravity down this way. Now this valve, it comes as part of the kit. You can see all the parts and pieces that the city provides, including the clips and the hangers, and they even loan the tools to the homeowners to make the installation easy. All right, Julianne, we're going to make up these threads, but before we do, we want some Teflon tape on each of these threads, all right?
All right, there we go.
Okay. Okay, let's snug this up with a couple of pairs of pliers. All right, now we can make our connection from the discharge of the washing machine to the bottom port of our diverting valve. Let me just turn that this way. All right, so this connection is a standard hose connection with a breeze clamp. The valve has threaded connections, and we've put our transition fittings in, and the rest of our work is going to be done in glued PVC. All right, I just need a piece to get down into the set tub. All right, and we'll come back and glue these. We'll get everything dry fit first. All right, so that's the set tub. Now we got to go this way. All right, I want to exit the building in the center of this piece of siding. I've checked outside for obstructions, so there's my mark where I want my hole to be. All right, so everything has been dry fit, and there's one more piece I have to install, and this is called a mechanical vent, or a vacuum breaker. Now this is a perfect application for your gray water system, but it's a perfect potential place for what they call a siphon. And a siphon needs a short piece of pipe and then a much longer piece of pipe that can pull the water up and out. And we don't want any water to leave this washing machine except when the pump is on. So this valve would just break the vacuum if there's any suction developed. All right, so here's our discharge from the washing machine. We come out through the side of the building, we turn vertically down to another elbow right here, come across horizontally, another elbow, and now at this point we're going to transition from our 1-inch PVC to this. This is actually 1-inch high-density polyethylene. We stick the tubing right over that barb fitting, and that's all we got to do. Now we just got to get the water to the plants.
The pipe is all laid, and Julianne and I talked about, how much water is coming out on a weekly basis with her washing machine, and then looking at her landscape and how many of the plants we can water. So we're watering half of this side of the yard and then half of the other.
Okay.
And every time we want to water a plant, we just cut in to the main line. Just cut in here and insert a T.
Yep.
This is a 1 by 1/2 inch T, so the main 1-inch line stays, and then the outlet's going out a 1/2 inch. This size is still large enough for lint to pass through, so we don't have clogging, and then the water continues on down.
So every plant that wants to be watered has one of these strategically placed branches. So what's next?
So next we're going to add the mulch, and this is going to filter the gray water. So you want the gray water to fall onto this mulch. It'll filter out lint.
Yep.
It'll make it so it doesn't clog up here.
It could act like a sponge too and hold the water too.
It does, and then the water can flow through the mulch into other parts of the basin.
And then just cover it over?
Well, we don't want to just cover it over because then roots could grow up into our pipe, so we need to protect this part of the system. We have two options. We can purchase an irrigation valve box and just drill a little hole in it and put that right here. And so this is going to be the level of the swale, and then we'll fill the rest in with mulch. Alternatively, we could use
just a flower pot.
Just a flower pot, the same thing.
And recycle it.
Yeah, recycle it, cut it a little shorter, drill our hole and make a
That's pretty cool.
lid for it. So now we're going to fill it in. We want the mulch level to be all the way up. Yeah, we don't want to get that to fill in with mulch.
Okay, cover it
That
up.
all level. Yeah, you cover that up. So down here at the end of the line, we don't want to add any plugs or valves or any restrictions. It prevents any damage to the washing machine pump.
Now Laurie's done with all of her piping outside, so I just want to take you through. We've got all of our stuff done. Now the valve right here is going to control whether or not you go to the sewer they'll go this way. And there's a little label right here on the handle, but to make it simpler, we also have these signs right here. The handle up, it's going to go to the sewer. The handle to the side is going out to the garden. Now the other thing with the Graywater system, you want to be sure you use the right detergent. You want to make sure it's low in sodium, low in boron, and there's all sorts of choices nowadays. So you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, so let's see if we can get it to discharge. Here it goes.
Here we go.
Now it's going this way, now this way. Let's go check with Laura, come on. All right, Laura, water's on. How we doing out here?
We're doing great. It's actually coming out all the outlets.
Oh, look at it, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Great. So you get the right flow everywhere?
Yeah,
So the system is done.
done.
Your plants are going to be happy every time you do the laundry.